Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. This is Earl Rush, aka the Sports Doctor. Join us this Saturday morning as Larry Abels, Lauren Lassiter, and myself, Earl Rush, discuss the NBA playoffs. As we'll also touch on Caitlin Clark's slow start, Bronny's LeBron James' son's possible future, and what will the NBA be like without inside the NBA? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Doctor's Inn. I'm here with my longtime friend, Larry Abels, and his niece, Lauren Lassiter, and we've got a big show ahead of us today, and we're going to get straight started. I'm starting off tripping and bubbling around already. Good morning, Larry and Lauren. How are you guys?
Good morning, Earl.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm good. I got a bad back, but it's always something with me. I'm always complaining about something, but I'm blessed to be alive in the long run. So let's get started with the good show. Okay, so before we're going to basically cover the NBA playoff. That's what we do on Saturday mornings. But we're going to touch on a couple of topics, and we're going to start off with the slow start of Caitlin Clark. So, Lauren, what do you think about that?
Good morning, Patrice. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in this Saturday.
Good morning, Patrice.
Caitlin Clark, it's her first game. I watched the clips and the review of it because I didn't actually tune into the game. I know they said it was a slow start, but she had 20 points, 4 3-pointers to me. Hey, Tink. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. I didn't think that was that slow of a start.
What up, Tink?
How you doing, Aaron?
I didn't think she had that slow of a start. I thought for her first game, she did pretty good. You got to get used to the pace of the WNBA. It's a different league from college. So I thought she did pretty decent. Her second game, 9 points. That was slow. So if 9 points, her second game had been her first game, I would have been like, all right, starting off slow. But for her first game, I thought she did pretty good.
Okay. Larry, your thoughts on Caitlin Clark's slow start?
Yeah, she had a slow start because she's stepping up in class. Just a few weeks ago, she was playing 18 to 22-year-olds. Now she's playing grown women, and the best grown women in the world. Has a target on her back because of all of the fanfare that has come with her. Not really her fault that people are saying she's the greatest, but everybody's out there trying to show what real life is about. I think it'll take a little while for her to adjust, but I think she'll turn out to be a pretty decent player.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we talked about slow starts. I say slow start compared to what she's normally doing. We can't have 10 turnovers. Slow start, fast start, whatever. That's just not a good look. Whether she has to get used to the professional talent or whatever, 10 turnovers, that's unacceptable. But it's going to take her a while. I think we all have the belief that she's going to be a great player, and we all have confidence it's going to take time. She's just not going to be like gangbusters from jump. So,
they're playing pretty good defense on her too. Like the first game, she shot, even though she got 20 points, she only shot 5 for 15. And then yesterday, I think she was like 2 for 8. So they're getting up on her a lot more than the defense is on her a lot more than it was at college.
That's not my problem. If you're good, you're good. I mean, if somebody's going to get up on you, they're going to get up on you. I mean.
Yeah, well, but she's got pros getting up on her as opposed to, college girls, younger ladies.
Yeah.
Definitely stepped up in talent.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. Okay. So much for Miss Clark's show. In 2 weeks, we'll be like, yeah, I know Caitlin was good. I told you guys. Everybody was
Exactly.
You know how people are, so that's how it is. Okay, let's move on quickly because we got a lot to cover with the NBA playoff. It's going to take up the bulk of our time. But, Larry, what are your thoughts I don't know. This is kind of like a silly question, but I'm going to try to pose it and make it interesting anyway, just so we have some type of content for the show. What do you think about LeBron James' son, Bronny, going pro? Do you think he'll be drafted, or do you think he'll be an undrafted free agent, or do you think he just might not play pro ball at all? What's your thoughts on the situation?
Yeah, that's you know easy to. That's a good question because all of those things could happen. I think he's one thing going for him. His father's LeBron James. His father's a free agent this year, and his father may want a package deal, and he's the type of drawer that where he may be able to get that. As far as Bronny's college stats, they weren't impressive. He did have a heart problem early in the year. I don't know how much that impacted his overall play, but long story short, I think he probably will get on a team. Not sure he'll be drafted. I don't think he'll necessarily be drafted, but I think he'll get on a team because of his father's influence.
Okay, Lauren, your thoughts on the situation?
I agree. I do think he's going to be drafted, and I think it's solely going to be because of his father. And people want to see the father-son dynamic. He's pretty much the face of the NBA. Morning, Sharice.
Hey, Sharice.
Face of the NBA. He's going to get his son on a team, and they're going to play together. And the NBA is going to eat it up, and they're going to spend their money. They're going to go. They're going to support. I thought he was pretty. To me, he was impressive from the clips I saw of the combine. But at the same time, I know other hosts were saying the combine is like practice. It's anybody can shoot an undetested shot. You know, he did okay for what it was, but until we actually see him playing on the court against another player on the same stature, then we won't really know. But I think he's going to get drafted.
Okay. Good morning, Sharice. I didn't speak when you first came on. I did not want to interrupt Lauren. So I didn't want you to think that I was not acknowledging you or happy that you.
Okay, she can wait. She's fine.
Oh, wait a minute now. Come on now. Let's be nice. Okay. All right. What's our next subject we want to talk about? Oh, Sharice, are you a fan of Inside the NBA? There's a possibility that we will no longer have the show Inside the NBA because there's a possibility that TNT may not be a part of the NBA, the Basketball Association. They may be outbid by Amazon or some other businesses. What are your thoughts about that? How do you feel about that? Are you a fan of the Inside the NBA?
I love it. I watch it after every game. So the thought of it not being there is very sad for me. I don't want that to end. I love Shaq and Chuck's banter. That's like one of my favorite things to watch after the game. Their recaps. Sometimes I don't even watch the game. I just watch for their review of the game. So if that's not there, I'm going to be devastated.
Okay. Larry, I'm curious.
You know me, I can take them or leave them. Long as they show the game, that's a big thing. I think a lot of times, they have become an institution, and I've had other friends of mine who watched our show last week disagree with me, saying, "How can you say that?" I like that show, and I was like, "Well, I can take it or leave it."
Okay, all right. Well, it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. I find the show to be entertaining. I do find it, but will I miss them? Not really, but they are a good show. They are entertaining. So, no.
Hey,
Hello,
Phyllis.
How are you, Phyllis? Is that Phyllis that tuned in?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hello, Phyllis. How are you? Okay. Enough about that. Let's get to the NBA. Okay, the Celtics got rid of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think we all came out with that same decision.
Yep.
Okay, no drama there. Okay.
You know what? I think it was a little bit of drama because I thought it took Boston. It was hard for Boston to get rid of them, especially with Donovan Mitchell not playing. They really, I expected them to put them away easy, and they really couldn't do that. Making me have some second thoughts about Boston, even though I still think they'll come out of the East.
Okay. And Larry Abrams has spoken. All right. Lauren, were you surprised by the outcome?
I wasn't surprised by the outcome. I can see what my great uncle here is saying, that it took them a little longer than expected. And when I think about it like that, it did. I hadn't really thought about it, but I'm not surprised by the outcome, though. We all knew. Well, most of us assumed Boston it was going to make it out of the series and it's going to come out of the East. So,
okay. So, my girl Cherie says Bronny will get drafted because of his dad, and everyone will watch. Okay.
I agree.
I'm not sure how much he'll play.
That's a good point too.
I'm not much sure how much he gets drafted. And that was another thing, and I wanted to run by you guys right quick. Why this all along they have been listing this guy at 6'4". He's 6 feet and he's 6 foot and a half an inch. How has that been going on? Now, when I was coming up in high school, and normally even in college and the pros, they may over exaggerate maybe by an inch or two in height, or maybe a couple of pounds. But this is a drastic exaggeration from 6.5 inch to 6'4". Larry, can you make sense of this or what?
There's really no sense of it. I don't know who they're trying to fool, because I gotta think the teams will at least do due diligence and measure him at some point, in the word to get out. But as far as Bronny, I think there's a push. I don't think he'll necessarily get drafted, but he can sign as an undrafted free agent with somebody, and somebody will pick him up.
Okay, there we go. There you go, Cherise. Let's clarify that. This guy's only 6 feet and a half. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Am I right about Larry? They exaggerate an inch or two or a couple of pounds, but they don't usually. It's not that much of a difference, is it?
Yeah, normally it's an inch, and then they'll say, well, we measure him with his shoes on as opposed to barefoot and stuff like that. But normally when that goes out, I remember guys in high school and they send that stuff out, and because they want colleges to, give them a shot, and if they think they're too short, they won't even give them a shot. But at this level, at some point, you're going to be measured. 6'4", 6 feet is too far to be off.
I think they said he was 6'1.5". But
They said 6 foot and a half.
6 foot.
What did they say, Larry?
I don't know. I know it's somewhere around 6'1". I know it wasn't 6'4".
Yes. Either way, it's a huge difference.
Okay. All right. Enough about Bronny. Because I just haven't seen that much of him. But we don't want to make the same mistake we made last week on Real Fellas Talk Short. We're spending too much time on Bronny, so let's just move on. Okay.
Yes,
Indiana, Pacers, and the Knicks. Larry Abrams, where are we right on this series? It's 3-3. What are your thoughts? You're laughing at me because things looked bleak the other day when New York put the hammer on Indiana. Where are you today on this series?
Oh, gosh. I'm thinking that New York has had yet another injury. I hope Hart can play. I just want a good game. But right now, it seems like Indiana is the healthiest and have more players available. And I think they ought to win that, but I'm not going to count the Knicks out at the Garden. They seem to perform very well. Okay. Toss up.
All right, toss up. Okay. All right, Lauren, what's your thoughts?
I'm sticking with the Knicks because that's where my heart is leading me. I was disappointed last night. I actually turned the game off early because they weren't winning and kind of was obvious where it was going to go. But I said in the beginning of the playoffs, I wanted all the games to stay close. I wanted tight series, and I'm getting what I asked for, I guess. But I'm still going to hold out that the Knicks can take it on and they can go to the next round. I'm sticking with them.
All right. The Knicks
have sports doctor thing.
The Knicks have by far done a lot better than what I expected to. They're a very good team. And I'm not a big man of ifs because if the world was made of pots and pans, it'd be a great big kitchen. So I'm not going to do the ifs. But I will say, in this example, I'm making, what's the word? Anyway, I'll say, if the Knicks were healthy, I would have them coming out of the East.
Oh, I know.
But they aren't healthy.
Since we don't have a kitchen.
So I have Indiana winning this series, and that's Larry. I told Larry I have Indiana coming out of the East. So I'm going with Indiana.
All right.
All right. Let's move on to the next series. All right.
I
We've
got to
got
document this.
the Denver Nuggets and Minnesota. So we'll start off with you, Lauren. What's your take on this series?
It's so good. I am going for Minnesota. I want to see them beat Denver. I want to see another team get further out. But again, it's another tight series. It could go either way, but I'm sticking with Minnesota.
Okay. Larry Abel.
This has got to be the most schizophrenic series you could imagine. Even though it's 3-3, most of the games have been blowouts.
Yep.
And it's kind of amazing, you know. I don't know. So if I got to pick, I'm going to go with Minnesota too. I think they're going to go in Denver and beat them again.
Okay, well, you already know I got Minnesota because Denver is not coming out of the West. And I think Minnesota will make that happen. And so we'll sit down and see. I think all games have been great. I'm just thinking I'm going with Minnesota. I'm just going with Minnesota. I think I'm just going with Minnesota. They play a little bit better defense than Denver does to me, so I'm going to go with them. All right.
Even though they get blown out sometime, everybody gets blown out. That's what makes this series crazy. Almost every game has been a blowout.
Yep. Thank you, Miss Phyllis. Thank you very much.
Some days Minnesota plays real good defense, and the other days they get crushed.
Yes.
Okay. Phyllis, who do you like in this series, Denver or Minnesota? We'll wait for her to respond. Okay. So we're going to go on to the next series. Dallas Mavericks versus Oklahoma. Larry, where are we?
So I'm hoping Oklahoma City wins today so we can have a game 7. But
right?
I think Dallas will probably prevail. They look like they just have a little too much. They're more they're bigger, stronger, and have a little more experience. And I think that experience will push them over the edge right there.
Okay.
Going with Dallas.
Lauren, who do you like in the series?
I'm going with Dallas too. This is the first season of the NBA where I've actually even paid attention to Dallas and rooted for Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very impressed with everything I've seen so far. But Oklahoma City, don't get me wrong, they are a great team as well. They're young, but I think they do need a little bit more experience. And then maybe next year they can get a little further. I think Dallas is going to take it this year.
Okay, I gotta look back on last week's show because I don't remember everybody on this staff pulling for Dallas at that time. And maybe things have changed, or maybe I'm not remembering everything. But I know I have Dallas coming out because I had picked Dallas and Indianapolis to go to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with Dallas ever since they got those big guys. One of the big guys since they got Gallen and the other one, P.J. Washington, who's been playing very well, but he's not as good as everyone thinks he is. But he's been a vital addition, and he's just been hot. But I'll take it. Whatever it takes for Dallas to come out of the West, that's what I'm going to go with. Okay, so we pretty much have made our predictions, and we're waiting for the final rounds of the playoff to see what's going on. Does anyone have anything else they want to discuss before we turn off? Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in today and everybody who commented on the show. And Phyllis said Lauren is probably correct going with Dallas, even though I'm a Thunder Up. Yeah, we know you're a Thunder Up girl, but we deal with reality on this show, Phyllis. So we're not going to get sentimental.
So
I'm just going to go some games.
Phyllis has split loyalty. She grew up in Massachusetts, so she roots for Boston.
Oh.
And her daughter lives in Oklahoma City, so that's why she's into the Thunder Up stuff.
At least you're not a DC sports fan.
All right. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up because Lauren and Larry both have productive real lives. And they have things they have to do today. So I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. And if you get a chance, check out Real Fellas Talk Sports every Wednesday night. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. Our host next week will be Charles Snowden. And again, we want to thank everybody who's been supporting us. And we look forward to seeing you real soon. Hope everybody has a very blessed and productive day. I'm Earl Rush, the sports doctor. I'm out of here.
We appreciate the comments, everyone. Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you guys.